Hi readers, welcome back to Lessons from the Homeroom. I'm so glad you're here to continue to grow as a reader today. Just to go back to a little bit from our last lesson about learning to infer or inferring, we really discussed how an author doesn't always tell you all of the details in the story that they create. They want you to do some work too. They want you to take clues that they give you, take from connections that you're making to your own experience or your own knowledge, put it together and fill in those blanks that they strategically leave out. So we're going to continue on that idea of inferring throughout a story, but this time we're going to dive deep into a new story. Today we're going to be reading Wordy Birdy, and within this story we're going to infer, make good guesses about what this silly bird learns. So as I switch out our poster, I'd like you to go grab your books and your reading toolkit to get ready to jump into learning more about inference and figuring out the lessons learned in characters from a book. So go grab your stuff, I'll make a change, and we'll be right back. All right, thanks for getting ready. Now I'm ready too. So as I read Wordy Birdy, these are the things that I want to keep in our minds. We're going to think about actions, outcomes, and response. We're going to look at the character, Wordy Birdy, what they do, another character, the response, and the overall lesson that was learned from Wordy Birdy. All right, so let me go ahead and add to our poster. All right, so again, we're going to put Wordy Birdy as our first character. So as I read, let's think about some of the actions for Wordy Birdy. Here we go. Meet Wordy Birdy. Wordy Birdy has lots to say. It starts the moment she wakes up. See? Hello, sunrise. Hello, pink sky. Hello, orange sky. Hello, yellow sky. Hello, oh, hello, gorgeous. Sometimes Wordy Birdy talks about what she likes. I like spaghetti and unicorns and library books and polka dots and standing on my head, and sometimes she talks about what she doesn't like. I don't like the tall grass or turtlenecks or long lines or tuna salad or losing my balloon, or sometimes she just asks questions. Why do zebras have stripes? Is Bigfoot real? Are we there yet? But she never stops talking long enough to get the answers. Wordy Birdy is not the world's best listener. Oh, please. Are you talking about the same bird here? Okay, Wordy Bird is a terrible at listening. That's more like it. So let's pause right here. Wordy Birdy, action, will not stop talking. Other characters describe her as not a good listener. Well, let's see if we're going to learn something about this. So Wordy Birdy talks often. The other characters in this story, the other animals, say that she is not a good listener. Actually, a terrible one. Even when she should. This one time, I totally went swimming with a narwhal. My third cousin Barb is a penguin. Really. Fact, people used to think the world was flat and you could go fall right off the end. Do you think there's an award for the bird of the year? One day, Wordy Birdy takes a walk into the deep woods. Naturally, she has plenty to say. Reader, I don't know about you, but I'm having this little aha moment. When it says one day, it's going to start to get us into some of the plot of the story, some of that uh-oh part, because it says one day and then it says deep dark forest. Sounds pretty ominous. Let's find out what's going to happen. That's a pretty tree, and that's a pretty danger. Oh, that's a pretty danger sign, and that's a pretty tree, and danger ahead, turn back. Before long, squirrel zips in front of Wordy Birdy. Stop. Stop. Do not go any further. Does Wordy Birdy listen? She does not. Oh, a pine cone. Oh, a rock. Oh, a sign. Oh, a leaf. Wrong way. Soon, Rabbit dashes onto the scene. Go back while you still can. Does Wordy Birdy listen? Okay, so let's pause right here. Character, Wordy Birdy. Action, still talking, all as she's entering the woods. Characters, the other characters in the woods are saying, don't go, don't go. And the response is, she just keeps on talking. She does not. Oh yeah, my favorites. No trespassing. Strawberries are for me, and carrots are for me, and tomatoes for me. Then the raccoon gives a piece of advice. Run for your life. Does Wordy Birdy listen? What do you think? I love that face. Whoa, it's getting darker and darker and darker and darker, and looky there. White circles and triangles. I love white circles and triangles, and oh! Do squirrel, rabbit, and raccoon just leave Wordy Birdy there? We do not. Come on, follow us this way. And Wordy Birdy, well, what do you think she did? I'm seeing this picture, it's giving me a little clue. I know that if I saw that and heard that roar, I know what I would do. Let's see what she does. She listens. That was almost unbearable. Hooray, we made it. Then Wordy Birdy says thank you the best way she knows how. I love you guys. Like, I really, 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 really love you. Seriously, I love you more than spaghetti and unicorns. And Wordy Birdy still likes to talk a lot. See? Good night, sunset. Good night, orange sky. Good night, purple. Oh, good night, you. But sometimes, remember when we totally saved you from that bear? We were brave and amazing, and that was so cool. She likes to listen too. Now, that's what I call a good story. I'm going to read it to you again and again and again, and then she'll read it approximately 523 more times. Is this true? Yep. The end. So let's go back to our actions, our outcomes, and our response. So, Wordy Birdy, what did Wordy Birdy do? Her actions. She talks a lot. She doesn't listen. All right, so those are some of her actions. The outcomes, like who else is in the story? We've got other animals, right? We've got a squirrel, a rabbit, and a raccoon. All right, so the other animals do something. How do they respond to Wordy Birdy? They try multiple times to save her. So Wordy Birdy's talking a lot. She never listens to her friends. The other animals in the forest do try multiple times to save her. And in the end, because of their response, because they did save her, let's infer. Let's take a guess at what lesson was learned. In this story, the author helps us a lot and gives it away pretty much. But it's really important that sometimes we put together our own parts. So there's the clues from the text that we have. We have clues from the text that the characters are stating how she changed. She listens. Hooray! That was almost unbearable. We made it. Aha! So I love you guys. I really, really love you guys. So the lesson that she learned was pretty clearly stated in here. Doesn't always happen that way, and sometimes you have to make an inference at the lesson that they learned. But the author definitely says she still likes to talk a lot, but she also now listens to. So the lesson is that you have to listen. You have to be a good listener. So Wordy Birdy really realized that if you listen to people, they can be really helpful. It's really kind as well. I heard a saying one time, it says, you have one mouth and two ears, so you should do twice as much listening as you do talking. Wonder if that's really true. But anyway, students, when you're reading books, it's really important to look at what a character does, how characters respond, and the overall lesson that the character or characters are learning in your story. When you do this powerful work, you can think deeply about what the author is telling you and what the author is not telling you to really help you connect to books. So I ask for you right now to soon pause this video. You're going to grab your books and your reading toolkit, find a good spot to read in, and make sure that you look for the lessons being learned by your characters today. Sometimes they're clear and sometimes they're not. So dive deep and have a great time reading and trying to learn some lessons. When you're all done with that, press play again and we'll wrap up the lesson. All right, readers, welcome back. I'm so glad that you got some time with some good books and to really work on finding the lessons from characters. I want to wrap up by just doing a couple of examples from our past stories. So let's go back to this one. Pig always is lying and blaming Trevor on his behaviors. Trevor asks him, "Why are you doing this to me?" But Pig continues to do it. And soon, he goes a little too far. He goes for something really big to blame Trevor on. He didn't listen. And he found himself in some pretty big trouble. But this was a lesson that Pig learned. But we have to put it together. The author doesn't always tell us straight and clear. What did he learn? But it does say this. These days, it's different. I'm happy to say, Pig stopped lying. Hip, hip, hooray. So, what's the lesson? Pig learned it's not a good thing to lie. Bad things don't really happen when you lie. Don't blame your friends. Let's try it one last time with our other story we did, the very impatient caterpillar. So our very impatient caterpillar, actions. What are some of the things that he did in the story? How did those other caterpillars and butterflies respond to him? And what lesson did our caterpillar learn? Yeah, a big lesson on waiting, being patient, taking time, right? So patience is a virtue, and we could put that as the lesson in this story. So, no matter what book you're reading, a lot of times the author wants to teach us something. So, always keep that in mind. And we're going to continue to talk about this in our next video. So, thank you so much, readers, for joining me today, learning lessons from your book, lessons from the homeroom, and I really look forward to seeing you on our next video. For now, see you soon.